160 kilometers from the busy Nairobi Central Business District, we meet 19-year-old student David Lawrence, who at that tender age and without any academic qualification came up with the invention of a robotic dog to help police officers and the military combat insecurity. Reeling from the shock and the devastating effects of the April 2015 Garissa University terrorist attack that left 147 people dead, including police officers, he wondered whether artificial intelligence can be used to galvanize the nation. It was not anything new to him when it came to the invention, as ever since he was a young kid, he was always a curious chump. They say that curiosity killed the cat, but for him, the dismantling of the toys gave birth to a new venture.
So I figured out, what if the soldiers were to fight, but they are not supposed mostly to be on the fighting battlefield. So basically, I figured out we needed a machine that could do this. And machines that can do this autonomously are robots. So basically, I knew at that point I needed to create a robot.
When we met with him at the Mzee Wanyama area in Nakuru County, we found him busy building his 6th prototype of a robotic dog. He deals with what is at hand by collecting scrap metals and using electronic devices to support his idea. There are always two parts of the system, the hardware itself and the control software. The invention requires robotics and artificial intelligence to be fully automated to function, but currently Lawrence has managed to complete the metal structure.
Basically, I am faced with certain financial constraints, so the robot is very far from completion. So what you're seeing there is just a sculpture, a metallic sculpture of a potential design of how it's going to turn out. So the robot is less than 10% done. But the mechanical designs, I have them in my file. I have the mechanical designs. I'm still conducting research on part of the software to be able to make the robot self-coding. So what's unique with this technology is that I have to have the robot body first, so that I can be able to teach it and it will learn from experience.
The robotic dog will be enabled to have motion and sound sensors, as well as bulletproof, which makes it adaptive in war-prone zones.
I'm going to equip the mechanical part of it, very strong metallic parts that are going to be even bomb-proof, bulletproof, something like that, with the help of the military and other investors out there who can maybe see this as a potential solution.
Even if the robotic dog is aimed at solving problems of insecurity, there are still enormous ethical problems to grapple with. In a world facing ethical issues, the invention must be used for destruction.
The robot is going to have a self-destruction. So for example, if militants have surrounded it, and I don't want them to use the same technology, to go and manipulate the same technology to make a robot that's going to do bad. Yeah. So it's going to self-destruct internally inside the robot, to burn all its electrical systems, and it's going to have eradicated all its software systems. So basically, there will be no trace of how the robot worked.
For him, developing the prototype over the years has been a challenge, given that he has no educational background, with others questioning the effectiveness of his invention.
Some may discriminate you because of your age. They say you are a 19-year-old, so they don't consider the mind that you have. You see, I might be 19, but the mind I have is for a 34-year-old. You see, what I can do, maybe it's best than what even another person can do even after attending a degree or a master's. Because what I always say, an invention is purely your knowledge. You don't have to refer to someone or let someone define you. So basically, what I am presenting to the world is future technology.
Rose Kimani, her mom, says she bore a child who was always curious and quite inquisitive, but the challenge has been propelling his dream.
He was very inquisitive, always curious to know what is inside any machine. So he has gone that way from that time, advancing. So his graph at now started when he was very young, and it's now becoming a reality.
Lawrence is currently a first-year student at Thika Technical Institute, studying a diploma in electrical and electronics engineering. But the curriculum in the country is not enough to bolster his dreams, as robotics is not offered in Kenya.
With all of these inventions, I thought maybe it's high time we created a space for other people to even be part of.
Despite the odds facing his invention, he still dares to dream.
So because other people have many dreams, yes, some are technology driven, so I figured I could come up with a company, so to say. So it's going to bring young people who have innovative minds to run this research space that is going to enable them to actualize their dreams.
Human beings strive to come up with inventions to solve challenges we face on our day-to-day lives. This robotic dog is not any different, especially to a country that faces challenges of banditry and terrorism. David believes that once the government of Kenya supports his invention, then it might solve the issue of perennial insecurity. Irene Mwangi for Capital News in Nakuru East Constituency, Nakuru County.